Jerry says, Dear Simon and the Forgiveness Collective, going back to the mid-1990s for this one, I went to see Art Garfunkel, supported by Martin Joseph, in concert at St George's Hall in Bradford. Martin Joseph's got a very good album, by the way, about to come out, called 1960, just that I passed it on. Listen out for track 3, by the way. Very good. Anyway, this was a great gig with many happy memories, but it's what happened after the show that has led to this confession. Ooh. The gig finished and people started to head home. I had previous experience of the layout and backstage facilities at St George's Hall, as I'd been involved in a gig there a few years earlier, and I knew the layout like the back of my hand. So I decided to see if I could sneak backstage and, as unlikely as it sounds, meet Art.
Okay.
As I, like everyone else, headed for the exit, I looked towards the auditorium stage door and noticed no security guard. So I made a quick turn, walked straight through the door, as if I owned the place. The reality was my heart was pounding and I was shaking with nerves. I had no ID and I certainly was not allowed to be there. I hadn't thought this through at all. If I met Art, what even was I going to say to him? Love the hair, dude. Say hi to Paul when you see him. I looked round for what seemed like an age, probably 2 or 3 minutes, found no one to my relief, and decided it was a bit of a bad and risky idea anyway, bottled it, headed back to the door at the front of stage, filled with relief. What was I thinking? Anyway, this is where it all got a bit weird. As I opened the door, there were about a dozen people standing there, looking straight at me. Before I could explain my trespass, one of them came up to me and said, "We're here for the backstage tour and the meet and greet with Art." Sure enough, they all had tickets gripped very tightly in their hands. And instead of saying, "I'm sure someone will be along soon," like most people would, I inexplicably said, "Brilliant, I've been waiting for you. Hand me your tickets so I can verify them. I'll go and organize things. I'll be back in a minute. Wait here." And they did. They handed me 12 extremely valuable, rare meet and greet tickets. I had no ID. I had far less right to be there than each of them, and here I was with 12 backstage passes in my hand, back through the stage door, and there I was, backstage again. Thinking on my feet, I headed further into the maze of backstage corridors, following the voices that I could hear. Did I recognize some of them? After a couple of minutes, I found the band with their roadies and management team in a large room, drinking and eating and laughing away. I walked in bold as brass and asked for the manager, as I had the backstage meet and greet group with me. "No problem," said an American. "Oh, no problem." Absolutely no problem. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in. We love the meet and we love the greet.
Oh, we do.
Greeting and a meeting. We love it. Anyway, I couldn't believe it. Art was sat there in the corner. There he was, a 20th century musical legend within touching distance. I headed back to the stage door, ticket still in hand. "Follow me," I said to them all, like I was a big-time tour manager. As they filed through to backstage, I held the door open. It was the least I could do. As the 12th person passed, there was still another 4 people standing there looking nervously. "Is there any chance we could come in too?" they said rather feebly. "We've got no tickets, but we'll pay. We'll pay money. We've got money." Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely he can't make cash out of this dodgy situation. Well, no, because then there'd be no forgiveness.
No, there would be no forgiveness there.
No, I said, "Come on in, I'll sneak you in."
Oh, right. Just get them in.
Just get them in. Didn't take their money.
Bring them all in. Yeah. They were delighted. The men shook my hand like I was Art himself. Kisses and cuddles from the girls. And in we went. 12 official, fully ticketed fans, 4 unofficial fans sneaked in, and me. 12 tickets in my hand. Anyway, beer flowed and food was shared, and Art, not renowned for his light-hearted chit-chat,
Really?
he seemed to be on great form. Photos and stories and laughter, lifelong memories were made. We, the slightly larger meet and greet party, had a fabulous time. I didn't stay until the end. I stood back for a moment and smiled at what I'd done. No harm done, right, I thought.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, the orchestration. Then I slowly headed out the stage door to my car. There was a small group of people waiting by the tour bus. For a second or two, I thought about it. Could I make it to their hotel and maybe actually go on tour with these guys?
No. Why not?
I mean, at some stage, Jerry...
You're going to run out.
Jerry says, well, no, the answer was no. I just smiled to myself and I headed home. However, rules were broken, I have to say. So, I have to say I'm not seeking forgiveness really from the 4 fans who had the night of their life. I don't seek forgiveness from the 12 good people who got exactly what they'd paid for. I don't seek forgiveness from the ticketing company whose meet and greet with art ticket is framed and on the wall in my office. I do seek forgiveness, however, for the legend that is Arthur Garfunkel. I put him through 5 extra minutes of meetin' and greetin' torture. 5 more photos, 5 more autographs, 5 more utterly inane conversations, like the hair dude, say hello to Paul, all that nonsense. He probably told his manager, never again.
Oh, really? What
did he say?
Go on.
That's... Anyway, he probably said that seemed far more than the 12 I agreed to. Possibly I also put him at risk of some crazed fan, because this is actually a fair point. I had no idea who these 4 people were. No. Anyway, it turned out they were fine. Poor man anyway, with his bright eyes and everything. Simon and team, can you please forgive me for this terrible act of deception? Well, of course, there are security issues raised here. Obviously, we don't exonerate any of it. Jerry needs some forgiveness, but is he going to get it from Sister Susie from the pub?
Oh, do you know what, Jerry? I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was very good. There were some accents, and there was American accent. It was very good. And there was a few things I have to pick up, though. Sneaking those people in. I'm glad you didn't take their money. Very well done. However, the smoozing that it allowed you to feel that you got from that, I don't know if I'm okay with that, because there were, getting close to the women and, cheering on with the men. I'm not sure I agree with that.
They were excited to be allowed in.
Yeah, but they didn't have to, he had a position of power there, and I don't know if he did it very well, so I don't think I'm going to forgive you for that reason.
Okay, Brother Matthew.
I mean, which of us could honestly say we wouldn't have done the same thing? In the same situation, the fact is that no one was coming. He was the only one answering the door. They were all stood outside. No one else was there. So he was solving a problem, and it was all worked out fine in the end. So having solved this problem, you might even say that he was the bridge over troubled water. Was he? I think I did. So I'm going to forgive for that reason.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Just because you thought of a gag?
Yes, just because of that.
All right.